and gentlemen, welcome to the USS Reuben James. The Reuben James is 3 generations long. First one was a DD, which was a 245 back in World War I. It was sunk by a U-boat, first U-boat of its kind. The second one was a destroyer Escort 51, which was in part of the route of the Battle of D-Day. It was sunk by a U-boat coming back. This is the 3rd generation, the Reuben James FFG 57. Basically, this is an anti-submarine warfare, anti-aircraft warfare ship. It's based on the movie Hunt Red October. It's got many features to it, and I would like to show you all the features to it. And as we can let's start into this tour. As we come down here, as you can see our anchor detail right here. It deals with a 2-balance fluke anchor, which is 3 tons long, 3 tons heavy. It is 13 shots, which is about 400 feet long. It consists of many shots, and the links are heavier than the anchor. So 3 tons the anchor chain is going to be about 4, maybe 5 tons heavier. Over here is our missile launcher. Here is a basic system we use in the part of the naval defense systems on the ship. It's a Mark I launcher. It has 2 types of missiles on it. It's got an SM-1, which is an air-to-air contact missile, and a Harpoon, which is a surface-to-surface air contact missile. So let's go to the bridge and I'll show you the bridge. As you can see here, this is our helm to the ship. It's not as the normal type of helms you usually see on Navy ships, but this is the helm to the USS Reuben James. Pretty much this is a relaxed type of ship. You don't usually see this on other ships. As you can see here, the helm and the lee helm are put together, so we shouldn't have to use a lee helm and a helm. So when a helmsman's driving the helm and they do a change of speed, the only thing he has to do is just flip the knob up, forward, or if he wants to go all back, he flips it back. Pretty much it's an easy way to control the ship or navigate the ship. All of his stuff is right in front of him, instruments, such as the compass. This is the course compass he usually drives on. The course compass basically tells what course he's going to be on, what course he is on right now. The magnetic compass basically tells him what his true course is right now. It's 2 types of compass, the deviation compass, and this is a deviation compass. Basically these 2 are going to be different all the time, so as you get closer to the equator, the magnet, it gets a lot stronger. So you're going to see more of a 10-degree difference or 2-degree difference when you get away from the equator. As you see over here, these are our alarms, basically our major alarms on the ship. There's a collision alarm, chemical alarm, and general alarm. Basically a general alarm is our general quarters, either battle stations or we have a major fire on the ship. Chemical alarm is usually after a chemical attack, and collision alarm if we are colliding with another ship in the vicinity. Here is our APU system right here. Basically these two APUs can navigate our... This is the only type of ship that has APUs. APUs can push the ship away from the pier or into the pier without using a tugboat. As you come over here, the ship around in a harbor. As you see here, this is the officer deck's area right here. Basically, he controls the ship on this area too. As you can see, he has the compass too. He makes sure that the ship's on the right course that he ordered. Over here, he can switch over any helms he wants. He can go from hand electric to autopilot, which is done right here, or you can go non-pilot control, which is this little device here, which if we lose all control of the ship or of the helm. This right down here is the secondary control and the officer deck's control helm. That's our secondary control. This right here is the officer deck's helm's ordered control. He basically can control the ship by just using this little knob here. And see the little red phone here? This is basically used for communications with other ships or fleet tac or Navy reg. Basically this does is it helps out the Navy ships out in the middle of the Gulf or middle of the oceans. We can call any ship we want to any place as long as they're in UHF or VHF range. This is the SPS-69. Basically this is a navigational radar. Its purpose for this SPS-69 is basically to use during if we want to be stealth type ship. This is the navigational radar that all kinds of ships have, even the tugboats, fishing boats, cargo ships, merchant vessels, they all have this type of SPS-69. As you see here, this is the JL board. Basically this is to keep the officer deck and the commanding officer updated on the contacts he sees or combat sees. Pretty much you do is you put down its skunk, which is a letter they usually put down like skunk kilo you see right here. It tells what kind of contact or what contact he's got out there, how many contacts he's got. The bearing, which is by the bearing of the ships, that's true bearing. Range is how far he is, and they usually use by yards, so it's like 4,100 yards. And the time it was reported. Course and speed of its contact, not ours, his contact. And the CPA is close point of approach. Basically it tells his bearing and his range of the closest point he's going to see. This is the panoramic view of Pearl Harbor. As you can see right in front of us is the USS Fletcher. It's a DD-992. It went to the Gulf with us on our Westpac. As you see over there, right behind this new brand new building which they built on SEMA. That building over there is a SEMA base. Basically it was built before we went on Westpac. It's a new SEMA sub base. Right behind it, as you can see the little white pillars back there, is the Arizona Memorial. You come across, you see the sub. The sub base is basically where all the subs come in after a West pack or different types of pack. There's 4 different types of subs that come in here. The only one that can't come in to this base right area is a nuclear sub because it's too high to dock near the piers or too long near the piers. As you come across, you see more sub up toward the sub base area around there. As you can see, the baby of the ship, or the fleet right here, the USS Port Royal. It's the last Aegis class cruiser they have built, and it was stationed out here. It's not been commissioned yet, but it will be commissioned soon. We're also getting a new Arnie Bird class ship coming out. It's not out yet. Here you can see is the ESWS. This is our 3rd weaponry system we use in our defense mechanism. 3rd weaponry system we use in the Navy. As you can see, this is our basically a little machine gun. It shoots 4,500 rounds per minute. It's the fastest gun we got on board, and it shoots up to 7.62 mm bullets. It is basically controlled by the little radar system up there in the white cap, as you can see, which is connected to the Mark 92 fire control system, which I'll talk about later. As you can see, this is a 76mm gun mount. This is the 2nd weaponry system we use on board. It basically shoots 5 to 6 miles out. 76mm, it shoots rounds about 76mm long. It weighs about 40 to 50 pounds, and it shoots at any differential angle, but it will not shoot 90-degree angles. I mean, straight up. It will shoot about 60 is the max. See over here, this is the Mark 92. This is basically controls all the weaponry system. It locks onto an enemy contact. Basically, will shoot about lock onto it about 150 miles away. Once it gets into a range of any 3 weaponry systems, it will launch that kind of contact. It will not unlock its contact unless it's destroyed. Right. This is also part of the Mark 92. This is basically controlled by the missile launcher up forward. It basically has the same difference of the 92 in front. As you see right straight up is the the SPS 55. It's basically our air contact radar. As you see over there on the mast is the 49, which is our surface radar. Okay, go ahead.
Right now you're looking at the PCC, that's the ship's control. That starts the engine, makes the propeller turn to make us go through the water. You got 2 engines and then 1 shaft. One shaft. Okay? All those little throttles down there that Umpire gets up by his hand, that's how we control the ship and make it go faster or slower. Behind my big fat head, ACC controls all our auxiliary controls, like our H-pack, our L-pack, which is AP air or LP air, and it controls all kinds of making our potable water. Over here on you. That's our electric control console. That takes care of all our electricity and makes all the lights go on board.
Oh yeah, but point something like you know what you're doing. Go ahead, tell us about it.
Basically, that's USS in a nutshell.
The main reduction gear. It basically reduces the speed on the turbine from 18,000 RPM to 180 RPM. It basically keeps the ship from warping or destroying the screw on the ship. This is one of the 4 diesels we have on board the ship. As you can see, it's one of the biggest diesels we got on board the ship. It puts out at least 4,000 hertz of electricity power. People usually stand in line to get their food. Yeah, this is where all the MSs cook their food.
Right now I'm night baking. I'll show you a couple things that I do every night. I'm making bread for 300 people, and this is all the dough right now. I'll show you what I do with all the dough later on. Well, let me show you the rest of the galley. Okay, right here is where we serve all our food. From main course to potatoes to vegetables, we keep the food hot from the steam line right over here. Over here is where we fry our eggs in the morning on a grill. Over here is where we keep all our fruits and vegetables for the crew to take. This is where they slice the bread. When the bread gets done baking, it slices it up. And here's some of my bread. Over here is my meat slicer, where they slice up the meats. This right over here is just basically the main galley itself. Very small. And here's our deep fat fryer over here. Oh, I almost forgot. What about the dough? Well, as you can see, the dough is right here on the table. And right now it's proofing for me to start punching and putting it in the bread pans. 25 loaves of bread every night. What you gotta do is you take the dough like this, smack them on the table, fold these 2 ends in, punch it down, palm this in. Okay? So it looks like a loaf. Then you stick it in the bread pan. Make sure the bread pans are greased, because then you won't be able to take the bread out. Oh, look at this. See, this is how the steam line really comes in handy. Gets my dough up to that certain temperature where it can proof. Now what you do is you take this dough, just about here, and you stick it in the oven. Oh, very carefully. Oh, that's hot, yeah. 350 degrees preheat. Stick it in. And flat out. We got a finished product of nice, fresh, risen bread. Ah, it smells so good.
This is the ship storage. You can see we can get our little snacks if you want. Other items like t-shirts, tapes, you know, toiletry items, envelopes, stuff like that we can get at the ship store. Barber shop, basically where we can get our haircuts. Haircuts are free on the board anyways. And the post office right here where we can send all of our mail to states when we're on the way. This berthing right here, this is where part of the ship sleeps. It's usually E6 and below, but we'll show you what the berthing looks like after a hard stay. Basically, this is what our home looks like. It's about a 3-foot by 6-foot rack. You can stick your stuff under the rack right here. If you have a top rack, they have little lockers there that you can stick your items in. One of the hangers where they basically stick one of the SH-60 helos. They got 2 hangers. Usually they're used for is to pull them up and put them in here. We can land 3 helos on the flight deck. Land the helos. Basically, they come down. As you can see, the nets are supposed to be down, but they're not. They're up. And it comes down, it lands into a RAS system, and it tows it inside the hangars once it's folded up.
On these rails, right?
Yeah. Right on. This is one of the better views of the Port Royal. This concludes our tour of the USS Reuben James. I hope you